Hello everyone, my name is Shammy, and today we will be reviewing the new Westside Gunn album, Pray for Paris. Now, Westside Gunn is a rapper from the Buffalo area, and he's a part of the label Griselda Records, with fellow Buffalo rappers Conway the Machine and Benny the Butcher. Over the past few years, he's released many projects, and he started to gain a lot of buzz. And while he's definitely getting a lot more popular and a little bit bigger, I would still consider him an underground rapper. At least that's what I thought before the new album Pray for Paris, as this is his biggest and grandest album so far. This album as a whole represents an ascension into higher art, and with that comes Westside's strongest project that I've heard so far. For new listeners, Westside Gunn's voice might be a little bit difficult to get into. It's pretty high-pitched and definitely different than a lot of typical rappers, but I guarantee you through listening to this album, it fits really well with the production, and you overall come to like it, like with anything else given time. I think undoubtedly the best part of this album is the features. There are a lot of incredible features, and they're on most of the tracks, such as Conway the Machine and Benny the Butcher on A La Semi and George Banda, Joey Badass, Tyler the Creator, Wale, Freddie Gibbs, and a few others. The features are really, really solid. And that's not to take away from Westside Gunn's performances. I still think he drops a lot of great verses and just simply works well with the features that are on the song. For this review, I'm going to highlight some of the tracks that I think are good talking points and really important to the album as a whole. The first song I want to talk about is George Banda, which is the third track featuring Conway the Machine and Benny the Butcher. This is probably one of the best songs on the album with its kind of gritty and low-key production. It's not overbearing, it's not anything crazy in the production, but it really fits each of the rappers and their verses incredibly well.
Hey yo, I'm from a back block on the east side, piece of wall. I will Leroy with the Mac on, piece of love. The whole portfolio is gangster.
The second track I want to talk about is 327, which features Joey Badass and Tyler the Creator. And both these guys have amazing features, especially Tyler the Creator. I really wouldn't think he would fit in an album like this so well, but he really did. He came with a incredible verse, a really good verse, and it's probably one of the most unique verses on the album as a whole.
Bitch, I'm all that king and cow. When I walk in, niggas ring the bell. Roses at my feet, niggas kneel, bitches, yeah.
The next track is French Toast, which is a pretty unique track compared to the rest of the album. It has a sung chorus with the feature Joyce Rice, and it just sonically sounds pretty different than a lot of the other songs on the album. The production's pretty similar, but the singing of the chorus is pretty unique for the album, and I definitely like it. And the Wale feature is also very
I'm out here in Paris, crushing on you, bitch. I'm out here in Paris, just crushing on you.
One of my favorite tracks in the early part of the track list, we come to A La Sent Me, and this is definitely my least favorite song on the whole album. I think the hook done by Westside Gunn is just not good. He really stretches out his words and kind of comes off as he's like making a whining voice, but it really doesn't sound good, and it feels like it's going on forever, even though it's not, but it's definitely my least favorite song.
The Lord sent me here to begin. Bodies on the floor, pound.
However, right after that, we have one of my favorite songs, $500 Ounces, featuring Freddie Gibbs and Rock Marciano. Both of these guys fit incredibly well on this type of production and album, and Freddie Gibbs delivers one of my favorite verses on the album as a whole. Probably my second favorite feature verse, just behind Tyler the Creator. And, you know, they're
working that hot plate, cooking in my homeboy basement, and Lambo knocked the coke off the table, that nigga wasted. I showed him the new straps, the AK with the green laser.
After $500 Ounces, the album seems to kind of slow down a little bit. There's still some good songs I enjoy, such as Versace and Sean vs. Flair, but the rest of the songs are just solid. They're pretty good, but they're not as good as some of the songs in the first half of the album. One of my favorite beats of the album probably has to come from Sean vs. Flair. This is probably the most lively beat and probably the most up-tempo beat as well. It's just a Westside Gunn track with no features, but I think he really works well with the beat, and he delivers some great verses. Throughout the album, Westside Gunn's verses are very consistent and pretty much all very good. He's got one of the best pens in the game right now, and he just lays down a lot of constantly good and solid verses, and his style of rapping, his grimy rapping, really fits over the kind of production that we see him over a lot in this album. Even if it's a little bit glorified for this kind of album, it's definitely not this exact same that we've seen him over before, but it definitely works very well. Another thing I wanted to talk about were the audio clips, or kind of the skits at the end of a few songs, and I think these kind of represented the theme, or what I perceived to be as the theme, very well for this album, and they kind of tied it together quite nicely. And they didn't really take too much away from the songs, as they're just like 20-second clips at the end of these songs, and I don't really mind listening to them when I'm going back to listen to the songs on their own. By just looking at the feature list, we can definitely tell that Westside Gunn is getting a lot of new connections, and I definitely really hope he grows and becomes an even better artist throughout this year, because in 2019 and 2018 he released probably 4 or 5 albums, maybe more in each year, and if I'm guessing, he'd probably release multiple albums this year as well. And I really hope he, while sticking to what he knows and sticking to what he does best, I hope he maybe experiments and broadens his ability, because if he does that, I think he can really take his artistry and his rapping ability to the next level. In conclusion, this album is very good. This is one of my favorite albums of the year, and it's, for me at least, definitely the best record to come from the Griselda group. My top 3 songs are 327, George Bondo, and $500 Ounces, and I give this album a 8 out of 10. Alright guys, that wraps it up for today's review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've heard this album, let me know what you think about it down in the comments. If you haven't heard about it, I would recommend listening to it. I really enjoyed it, and you might enjoy it too. You never know. So that's it for today. Hope you guys have a nice day. Peace.